Good morning everybody and welcome back to another video. Today I am going to be going over my bucket list. Now this is something that I do at the start and the end of every year, and I typically don't look at it at any other point in time. Sometimes I do, like if it comes to mind. Most of the time I forget I even have it until it comes to New Year's. So I'm basically just going to go through and I'm going to have a look at what I can potentially update, what I have maybe achieved this year, and then probably start writing down a few ideas of things that I want to achieve in 2025. So I thought I would share it with you because I don't know if people still do this? Do people have like actual written bucket lists? I don't know, but mine is separated into categories. So it is typically things to do, places to go, things to buy, even though I'll explain that when we get there, and then like milestones, like life milestones. So I know that I can tick something off this first one in places to go because I have on here visit a tropical island, which we did. We went to Raro in May. So all I do here is I tick. Ah, this pen's black. Hold on. It's going to drive me nuts that that tick is in black, but it's fine. I went and got a blue pen. And then in brackets next to it, are you also black? Ah! Right, third time's the charm. We put in brackets next to it when we did this thing. So it was May 2024. I almost wrote 2025. But just so you have an idea of like what I've got on here is... So this is just places to visit. So I've got the USA, which I have been there, but I went as a child. So I would really like to go back as an adult and like plan my own trip, because as much as I absolutely love that trip and it has some very, very fond memories, I definitely don't think that I appreciated the magnitude of what was going on and how cool where I was at the time. So I'd love to go again. I've got Canada, Australia, which we did last August, and obviously now we live here. Anywhere in Asia, anywhere in Europe, the tropical island, done. I have put go back to Disney. Obviously I did that when I was in America, but I would love to go back again. I really want to go to Harry Potter World, like is it like the Warner Brothers Studios one in London, just outside of London, wherever it is, I want to be there. I have go on a cruise on here, but I think I've changed my mind on that one. I get severely seasick and cruises creep me out. I don't know about that one anymore. And then there's Rome, Vatican City, big one for me, and the South Island of New Zealand, which I did again as a child. I went for a very brief visit when my brother lived down there, but then we went and did like a big tour in May and June of 2021 for our honeymoon. So I have 3 things ticked off that list now, and I'm aiming to get another one off next year. I try and get one off this list every year, but sometimes it just doesn't work out like that. So my next one is things to buy, and I know this sounds a little bit weird, but it used to mean a lot to me. Now it doesn't so much. Like I literally have a post-it note here that says, it's funny how priorities change, and currently most of these things no longer seem important to me. And I wrote that on the 31st of December 2023, and my opinion on that post-it note has not changed. I don't really see myself achieving anything on this list anymore, and that might change, but for now I own a German Shepherd or dog, because the German Shepherd is like my dream dog, but we've decided that we have the cats at the moment and we won't be getting any more pets because we would like to do extended travel, and that's just too hard when you have a whole bunch of pets to look after. Again, the next one was a Maine Coon, one of my dream breeds of cats, but no more pets for now. It was buy my first car solo by myself, because that was like a big goal for me, and I did that in 2018. Hi chicken. Move over, man. My next one was to buy a luxury car. My dream car to own is like a Mercedes. So I would really like to do that one day. That's probably the only thing I have on this list that I would still really like to accomplish. My next one was get my gun license. My family is quite big into like hunting and fishing and outdoors and things like that. So it used to be a really big deal for me to get my gun license and just be able to kind of join that crew. It's not something I ever did, and to be honest, it's probably not something I'm gonna do. Not while we don't live in New Zealand anyway. It's gonna rain. It's gonna pour down. Yeah, not while we don't live in New Zealand. So, my next one was buy my first bow. I do enjoy hunting, and I really wanted to learn how to use a bow. Again, not something I ended up buying for myself. Might still happen in the future, but not while we don't live in New Zealand. And the last thing on this list was to get my teeth fixed, which I did. So that was from August of 2020 to May 2021. I had surgery, I had a whole bunch of like work done, and I had braces. So that was a really, really big goal for me. Obviously, I had it under the to buy section because it was something that I had to personally pay a lot of money for. So I'm really proud of myself that I was able to save up and do that, but also face my fears of the dentist to be able to do that. I haven't achieved anything from that section, and that's okay. I don't expect to. The things to do section is the biggest one. And I try and tick at least one thing off every year, and I've literally been saying to Mark for the last few days, we haven't done anything like exciting or stupid or scary in a while, and I'm getting the itch. So I kind of want to pick something from this list. I kind of just want to do something. I feel like it's about time. We have had a break of like over a year, I think, since we've done anything like this, and I'm looking for something. So things to do, I do have quite a few on this list that's already ticked off. So I have swim with sharks, which we did in 2016. Pet a big cat, so we had an encounter with cheetahs in 2017. Go skydiving, which we did in January of 2023. That is the last time we did anything like this, so the most recent one was going skydiving. I've learned to snowboard, publish a book, fly a plane, ride in a helicopter, ride a roller coaster, which I've done this, but only small ones. I was too scared as a child to go on any big ones in America, and I feel like now as an adult, I really want to go on a proper roller coaster. Next one was jump off the Sky Tower, which is in New Zealand. Now, I don't know if I still want to do this, and I'll explain why in a little bit. Ride a zip line, which we first did in 2019, but we've done so many times since then. Ride a camel, we did that in 2023. Touch a snake, again, 2023. These were all on our Australian holiday. Swim with dolphins is a big one for me. Haven't done that yet. Read the entire Rift War saga by like Raymond E. Feist. So, and not just like the 3 books, I meant like his entire series, which I know I've worded it wrong in here, but I'm not going to change it. I don't care. I just want to read all of his books. I think there's like 30. So that's a really big goal of mine. Snorkel the Great Barrier Reef, we did in 2023. Learn to play an instrument. I can like sort of play a couple of instruments, like a little bit. Like I can play a little bit of piano, a little bit of ukulele, but like nothing significant, and I think it would be cool to actually be able to play an instrument. I just can't make myself focus enough. It is a goal though. Meet a white tiger. They've always been one of my favorite animals. We did that in 2020. We actually fed them. It was great. So good. Get a tattoo in another country, which we first did in Australia, but then we've also since done in Raro. One of my goals when we travel is to get a tattoo in every country that we visit, so that's going to be an ongoing one. Swim with crocodiles. I was talking about this to Mark last night, and Mark point blank refuses. There's, you're not like with the crocodiles, but it's something you can do where you're like in a tank, and the tank is in like the pond, and the crocodile's like right there. I really want to do this. I'm like itching to do this, and Mark is refusing, so I have to bribe him to find a way to get him to do this with me. And it's raining. Oh, it smells so good. The next one's go on a photography safari, which I used to be a photographer. I'm not anymore. I'd still really love to go on safari. Like, I'd still do that. And then the last thing I have on this list is walk around the Sky Tower. And this is the reason that I don't think I want to jump off it anymore, because that walk is the worst thing I've ever done. Usually I have like at least one good point for the stupid things that we do. That one didn't have a single one. It was terrifying. It was windy. You're on a track that's literally like 4 feet wide, see-through. My shoes kept getting stuck in it so that I was like almost falling over. You're tied on by like a rope. It was the worst experience of my life. I hated it. I hated every second. You're up there for like 40 minutes as well. Like we got a quarter of the way around the tower and I was like, I'm good. Like I can go back inside now. That is the only thing that we have done that I'm not going to say I've regretted it, because I don't like to live with regrets or say that I regret doing anything, but I did not enjoy it. It's the only thing we've done that I'm like, nah, it was bad. I didn't like it. I spent the whole time absolutely fucking terrified, uncomfortable because my feet were hurting. They're trying to take photos of us and I was like, I just want to go back inside. Like, I have got some photos where I look like I'm enjoying myself. I was not. Don't be fooled. The last section that I have is what I call like milestone moments, and this one again is similar to like the to buy. I have changed as a person and I've grown. Oh, I can tick something off this one, yay! But anyway, I have a post-it note here and I stand by it. I think I wrote this list. My first year for this was 2019. So it's about 5 years ago. And one of the things on the list is have a baby. And I have never really wanted to have a child, but back 5 years ago, and around that time for a few years actually, Mark and I were feeling a lot of pressure from, like, I think just society as a whole, because we had been in a long-term relationship, we were engaged to be married, and a lot of like expectation I felt were on us to have a child. So I was a bit on the fence about like whether we should just do it because it's the thing you're supposed to do. And I'm really glad we didn't, because personally it's not something for me. I'm not gonna like cross it off or scribble it off this list because I just don't want my book to be messy, but I do have a post-it note in here that explains my personal view on the matter, which I'm not going to read out because I don't need people coming for me. I want to clarify that it's not that I don't like children, it's just that I don't feel the need to have one myself, and I feel like that's enough. We're going to move on from that topic. The rest of the things on this list are get engaged, which we did in 2018, get married, which we did in 2021, buy our first home, which we did in 2020, own my first dog, which again, I do hope to own a dog someday, it's just not going to be anytime soon. This is the one that I can cross off because it's moved to another country. It's always been a dream of mine to move to another country, and we finally did it. I'm not going to lie, I didn't expect Australia to be the country that I'd move to, but I'm happy that it is because I love it here. And the last thing on this list is travel to my 5th country, which we haven't done yet. Still only got the 4, but wow. I say 4 because including New Zealand, didn't really travel to New Zealand, but I've traveled around it, so I count it. I don't want to talk about it. So yeah, we are hoping to travel again next year. We don't have a location set in stone yet. We know where we'd like to go, but it's just as to whether the budget permits. But really hoping that I can tick that one off next year. Right. Now these are my goals for 2024. Now what I do is every 1st of January, I sit down and I write myself a list of goals. And then on the 31st of December, so I won't be filling it in today, but with the rest of this and then like the back of the next page, I write like a summary of everything that happened in that year. So I mention as much as I can remember. Most of the time it's just like a sentence, I don't go in depth, but it's just like a brief overview of everything that happened to us in that year. So I'm going to have a quick look at what I had on my list for this year, because I actually think I'm pretty close to doing everything that I had on my goals list, and that has never happened to me before. So I've got here, finish writing a book. Now, if you know me, you know that I really want to publish a book. I have 3 ongoing projects. I would say that one of them is finished. It's one that I started this year actually. It was only a small project. It is not published, but it is finished. So I'm gonna tick that off. My other 2 projects that I'm working on are very, very close to being finished. The next one is read 1 book per month. I did that. I think I actually ended up reading 15 books this year, which is great. I aim every year to read 12 books because it's 1 a month, and I did that for like the 2nd time. I think I achieved it last year too, so we're on a roll. I had travel to Rarotonga, which obviously we did. Swim with turtles, which we did while we were there. Make better/healthier choices. Now, pretty much every year in here, if you scroll back, it's gonna say lose weight, go to the gym. And this year I decided to just come at it from a bit of a different angle. I didn't want to put lose weight and then get to the end of the year and feel shitty about myself for not losing weight. So I just put make better and healthier choices, and I feel like I have achieved that, because not only have I actually lost weight, but I make better choices for my health consciously now and all the time, and I have been doing it for months. There was a period of this year where I think about 3 or 4 months, no, about 3 months at the start of the year and then about 2 months again in the middle, I did go to the gym really, really consistently, which is good for me because I struggle with the gym. But I'm now on a medication that helps me lose weight. I have gone to my doctor to actively discuss all areas of my health, not just my weight. So I'm going to tick that off because I have tried really, really hard this year to just be making better choices for myself. Next one is move to Australia. Done. Reunite permanently with Mark. Done. And the last one, which is the only one that I'm a little bit on, and I think I'm going to tick it anyway, but my last one was prioritize myself. I do really struggle with this. I'm a little bit of a people pleaser, or I was at the start of the year. I think this year has been really big growth for me in terms of I no longer do things just to make other people happy. Like, if I don't want to do something, I'm a lot better at putting my foot down and saying no. And I don't always have to have a reason. That's something that I've learned this year. I don't have to come up with some sort of story or some sort of justification as to why I don't want something to happen or don't want to be included in something or don't have to do something. I can just say no because I don't want to. I'm not perfect at it. I think I definitely still need a lot of work. Maybe that's something that I can put on next year's list as well. But I think I'm going to tick it. I mean, I did move to another country because that's what I wanted to do. So I think it counts. I'm really proud of myself. My hay fever is absolutely kicking my ass today, if you can't tell. Yeah, I'm not going to write my summary because that's something that I religiously do for myself on the last day of the year. And then typically I will write my goals list on the first day of the year. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to write in the heading, and every year it's the same. It's just goals for and then the year that we're in. Can you read that? Goals for 2025. I don't even know where to start this year. Usually I have like an idea, and the only like guideline, I think I'd say, that I have for myself when it comes to writing my goals for each year is I like to have a minimum of 8. And I know that's a really weird number. I was going to do 5 originally, but some years, if I were to show you this book, I'm not going to because it has some very personal things written in there. Some years have like 10 or 12 goals, and I might have achieved 4 of them. But I decided 8 is a minimum because if I can achieve them all, great. It's never happened until this year, so maybe I need to put more goals in there for myself. Maybe I need to do 10 this year. But I also feel like if I can achieve half of those things, it doesn't make me feel as bad. I'm very, very hard on myself, so if I do a list of 10 or 12 things and achieve 4, I feel like a failure. I'm really rough on myself. I feel like I did not try hard enough. Whereas if I do 8 and achieve 4, It's like, well, you got halfway there. You obviously made an effort. You were trying. It's just a way for me to be a little bit kinder to myself. So I do say 8 as a minimum, but there is no maximum. If there's a lot of things that I want to do, then there's a lot of things that I want to do. I'm going to have to think. I might sit here for a little bit, and I'm not going to write them in my book just yet, because that's for the first. But I am going to make a few notes on my phone for ideas that I might add in. And I'll come back and review them with you in just 1 second. Alright, so I sat and thought for a while, and I've managed to come up with 9 things that I think aren't bad. And like, the more I look at them, I think all 9 of these might end up on my list. So what I've got is travel to a new country, get an agent / publish a book. Usually there's been quite a few years that I have just written in that book, either finish blah 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 or get published, and I'm like, again, I need to be a little bit more lenient and realistic so that I don't feel bad about myself when that doesn't happen, because it's a really hard thing to make happen. So I've changed it to get an agent / publish a book. Fingers crossed that that happens in some capacity. I've put make new friends. Obviously I'm in a new country. I do at the moment consider myself to have like 1 friend that I met at my last job, and like, I love her, she's great. So I kind of hope to keep that friendship and keep working on that friendship and spend some time together, but also like branch out and make a few new friends maybe. I find it very difficult to make friends, especially in a new country. It's very intimidating, so let's just try. I don't know whether maybe we'll try joining a club or something, I don't know, but it'd be nice to make a new friend. I put start a long-term savings account. Now, this is mostly because we don't really know what we want to do here yet. Originally, our idea was to earn some money, go home, buy a new house. Obviously, we do own a house in New Zealand, but it's not something that we want to be our forever home. But now we're sort of tossing up the idea of, like, would we like to buy a house here? Would we like to move abroad again? So I just want to start like a long-term savings account so that we can build up funds to do whatever we end up deciding we want to do. So it's going to be nice to start that. The next one I put down was do not colour my hair. I've discussed it in a couple of videos, but I am trying to grow my hair out. I want my blonde back, so it's really, really hard for me to not colour my hair. I don't know why it looks greasy when I literally washed it last night. That's just a curse of my hair type, but yeah, I'm really trying to grow it out, and I'm getting so tempted to just like bleach it or colour it so that the colours are a little bit closer to matching, but no, I just want to leave it alone. Don't touch it. Next on my list is visit home. We already do have a visit home booked. We have a wedding to go to, which I'm so excited about. So we're going home in April / May to see my wonderful friend Nick and Tash get married, and see as many of our friends and family as we can in that time. My next one was just upload consistently on YouTube, and I think that's a good goal to have. It's something I've always wanted to do. It's something I've never done because I tend to talk myself out of it or just forget or get lazy. So I think it's nice to have a goal like that in there, something that's not serious, something that is easily achievable as long as I actually make myself. So that's in there. And then followed up by 2 more that I think are kind of in the same realm because they're all like a hobby, but I've put spend more time on my hobbies. Whether it's arts and crafts that I really like, or I've been gaming a little bit more. I do have like a list of dream games that I'd really like to play, and I've just started. Like, I've just picked my first one that I'm finally going to play because I'm not very good at gaming, so I've always told myself, oh, I could never play that game because I wouldn't be able to beat it, but I've decided, screw it, I'm just going to do it, and if I can't beat it, I can't beat it, and I'll just keep trying. So I've just started playing Undertale. For those who know, you know. So just, yeah, pray for me. And the last one was one I had last year, and I think the year before, which was just read 1 book per month. I love reading. It is my favourite hobby that I have, other than maybe book collecting, because yes, they are different things. I collect books, I don't necessarily read all of them. So 1 book per month. It's just a little reminder for me to do something that I enjoy, and that's good for my brain because it's not staring at a screen or doing something mindlessly. I do actually learn a lot from what I read, and I love reading. So that was a ramble. I just want to read books, man. But yeah, that is my bucket list. That is something that I have done religiously for the past 5 going on 6 years. I find it really, really helpful just to kind of keep me motivated even a little bit, even if it's something that I don't look at throughout the year. I honestly might look at this in January, June and December, and that's literally it. So it's not something that's a huge commitment, but it's really nice. And I like being able to summarize my years because my memory's not great. Let's be real. So I kind of like having the opportunity to just look back and kind of see what we did achieve, because I think sometimes you think of a year, like last year, I think of last year and I'm like, oh, that was such a hard year for me. But some good stuff happened and it's nice to just kind of recount that occasionally, I guess. Chicken is here, so that means it's time for me to go. She's wanting to jump up on the window, when all my stuff's in the way. But if you made it this far, thank you once again for watching another one of my videos. I do really appreciate it. If you want to, please leave a like or a comment. Maybe you have a bucket list and you want to tell me something that's on it to give me ideas of what I could add to mine. That would be cool, actually. Maybe do that below. And if you want to see more of my content, make sure you subscribe. I upload weekly. I do my best to upload weekly. Hold me to that. Maybe I should put that on my goals list. I said stay consistent. It's the same thing. Regardless, I will see you in the next video. Bye!